Fiddle again, and hello, it's Phil, and welcome back to Magic Monday. I wanted to talk to you about paper products, take us full circle back to understanding Magic the Gathering cards. We speak about the best ways to start off, the things you're going to need if you're going to be playing with actual cards rather than investing money into Magic Online. If you're going with the physical card route, one of the best ways to start would be with a bundle. This is a bundle from the most recent set, Dominaria, and it contains lands. So it's got 80 basic lands, and it comes with 10 booster packs. Each booster's obviously got 15 cards in it, with one rare in each pack. So there's a fair chance you might get a mythic rare. You might hit a few foils. That's a good way to start off. And any big pack that contains basic lands and a few boosters is a good idea. There's also a deck builder's toolkit. The deck builder's toolkit is similar to the welcome pack that we got with Magic Online. It contains semi-randomized cards, meaning that mostly everyone gets the same things in a deck builder's toolkit for the first 125 cards. Then you get 4 booster packs and 100 basic lands. Everything you're going to need to build your first deck. The bundle does come with a dice, a 20-sided dice which you can keep track of your life total with. You'll accumulate these when you buy Magic products. Many of them do come with dice. It also comes with 2 deck boxes, which I presume are cardboard boxes, simple cardboard boxes. Usually nowadays they do fit sleeved cards as well. Before, the cardboard boxes would only fit unsleeved cards. But now, certainly with the Planeswalker decks, they do fit sleeved cards. Planeswalker decks, as the name suggests, come with the Planeswalker. Comes with a foil copy of the Planeswalker, it tells you on the front. And they're pre-constructed decks, so you don't need to do any deck building, but they do come with 2 booster packs, so you can see what's in those, and maybe the contents will help you tweak the deck a little bit, and make it a little bit original, and make it a little bit stronger. And they also come with cardboard boxes inside that fit sleeved cards. In a dual deck set, you get 2 decks that battle well against each other. You find the outcome, whichever deck you play, tends to be fairly even. They do have a foil rare on the front displayed, so you can get the flavor and see which of the decks you'd rather play. And that's good if you want to get someone else into Magic. If you want to get a set and you maybe want to switch up which deck you play. Doesn't come with any booster packs, but if you do get other packs, then you can always see again if you want to tweak these decks by adding a few cards in. But you should remember to be fairly even if you're doing that, and power them both up so one isn't too OP against the other. The recent Challenger decks, I think, are the strongest pre-constructed decks you could pick up for your first deck. This one, Hazoret Aggro, has a lot of rare cards in it, valuable cards, powerful cards that you could take to a competitive event and certainly win a few games with. There are 4 decks to choose from, and I think you would know by now which style of deck you like to play. This one is a mono red. I think I would probably play the Approach to the Second Sun deck. It's like a blue-white control deck. But one of these would certainly be a powerful first deck, rather than a beginner's deck. Most of these things I've mentioned you should be able to find in local shops, like Forbidden Planet, comic book shops, that sort of thing. Booster packs you can even get in bookshops. Some bookshops like Waterstones, I believe, here sell individual booster packs. Local game stores that host Friday Night Magic and Magic events often sell booster boxes. You can buy individual packs, or often they can sell you a whole box. And you might want to get an entire box, but then you probably wouldn't have enough basic lands to put decks together, so you're probably better with the Deck Builder's Toolkit or the bundle, because at least you get basic lands, unless you know someone that can donate you some basic lands. It's also good once you have some cards but you want to, say, draft, you could buy a box and then charge your friends slightly less than they would pay if they bought individual packs in the shop to get 3 packs out of the box, and then draft the box between friends. It's a good way that you all pick up cards from the latest set. That's what I tend to do. But certainly not for your first deck. You wouldn't be looking to buy a box and try to make a deck out of the contents. It's not the way to go, really. You probably could manage it, but probably better getting a Planeswalker deck to start off with if you just wanted to get a deck. And then get a bundle if you wanted to make maybe 1 or 2 decks. Or a Deck Builder's Toolkit. Wherever you find certainly Planeswalker decks or whole boxes of Magic cards, then you should find sleeves. You always want the standard size sleeves. Don't make the mistake of getting there's 2 different sizes. If you get the wrong size, your cards won't fit. It's for a different format of cards. So the standard size sleeves are what you want. You can get something more exciting than black, but you generally want them to match, so you can change them between decks. You probably get them in odd numbers. You might want to make a 75 card deck, but you can't get, you get packs of 50 or packs of 100 sleeves, so you're going to be left with an odd number left over. So you accumulate sleeves. If you constantly get the same color, then even once you've built 10 or 20 decks, you've been more efficient with your sleeves, rather than having a whole bunch of different colors of 20 green sleeves and 20 blue sleeves and 20 red sleeves left over. You don't want to be in that position. So sometimes you want to get special sleeves. They usually come in a pack of 80, and that leaves you 5 spare, just in case the sleeve splits, that sort of thing, or one of the sleeves gets damaged in some way. You can replace it with one of the spare 5. But if you want to build lots and lots of decks, then I would advise you to get a couple of 100 matching plain black sleeves. This is an example of one of these packs of 80. Sort of 2 lots of 40. You can choose very nice designs for the backs of them. They do feel extra plush. They do feel nice. They certainly look better than the generic ones. That's only maybe for your super special decks. Maybe your first deck deserves it. The cardboard cases inside the Planeswalker decks are certainly adequate for holding sleeved cards. Ideally a plastic or metal case for holding your cards, for taking them on epic journeys to go battle your opponents. You can get them in all manner of designs. Again, they are standard size. The divider helps you separate your sideboard from the main deck. Even the plastic ones are pretty sturdy. Another layer of protection is a playmat. Playmat is much like a giant mouse mat. You can get these ones with magic design, different characters of or different art from different magic cards printed on the mat. They're fairly large enough usually for all the cards in a game on your side. You do even get double size mats that can cover an entire table. So it's another layer of protection. The sleeves do help you, but obviously if you play on a sticky table, or you take your cards to the pub, that sort of situation, they're gonna get wrecked. The sleeves are gonna get destroyed and you're gonna need to replace them. So a playmat is advisable. This is my one, Omnath. I've had it for a few years now, since Omnath was a new creature, since Origins, and it's served me well over the time. Omnath mat has seen many games, and I've built many decks here. Especially when you're just in the deck building stage and you haven't sleeved anything up, you definitely want protection. You don't want the cards just on the table, regardless of how clean the table might appear. Try to pick them back up off of a wooden table, say, is a lot more difficult. Yeah, it's a higher risk of you damaging the card. Whereas the surface of the playmat, it's really easy just to slide the card to the edge and pick it up. Here I'm building blue and red Sphinx's Tutelage, Fevered Visions, draw a lot of cards, mill you out deck. Just line up everything that I've put in so far. Kind of got it to 75. We get all the good stuff in. It's my sideboard on the right. So I've got Thopter Spy Network, so I've got plenty of artifacts like the Soul Ring. Got 4 Fevered Visions, 4 Sphinx's Tutelage. Got Tormod's Crypt to exile their graveyard, Codex Shredder to keep putting cards in there before we even get to tutelage in them. Got creatures that help us draw cards, as well as the enchantments, and the Crufix enchantments. Got Baby Jace. There we are. Red cards mainly to get Fevered Visions. We've got 4 copies of Fiery Temper, just because we're likely to be discarding cards. We have 4 Howling Mines, so everybody's gonna be drawing lots of cards. But we're gonna be punishing our opponent by milling them every time we draw cards. And when they have too many cards in hand, they're gonna be getting damage from Fevered Visions as well. So the deck makes everyone draw loads of cards. It winds up being punishing for our opponent. That's pretty much the whole deck. I love Sphinx's Tutelage, I love Fevered Visions. There's so many good cards in Modern, so many good cards in Legacy, Vintage that can add cards in. I like to build decks without restrictions. If it ends up being a Legacy deck or a Vintage deck, so be it. Cards are restricted in older formats, which is why we can only play one Wheel of Fortune, we can only play one Sol Ring. There's one Tolarian Academy, because we do have artifacts, plenty of. It's got good synergy. So as I say, when considering a deck, you might want to lay it out like this before you put in the basic lands to decide on the balance of lands. Here I clearly want more islands than I do mountains. Because 2/3 of the cards that have a color requirement are blue. Of course we're going to draw lots of cards. There's our beautiful Tolarian Academy. It's probably my favourite Magic card. Gives you 1 blue for each artifact you control. Got a Scalding Tarn, don't really need it. But we've got one anyway. Just to show it off, why not? The rest are just basic lands, islands, and mountains. Be easier to show you on Magic Online. If I had the cards, I would. I'll probably change a few things once I've played a few games with it. I do have plenty of spare cards to trade things in or out. But this is the build that I've gone with. So I'll give you an idea of the size of the playmats. It's the 60 cards there, plus the column on the far right is the 15 card sideboard. I've gone for a nice set of printed sleeves here, rather than the standard plain black ones. I like this artwork. We've also gone with a printed deck box rather than just a plain one. Again, just like the print, like the design. So we've got our accessories here for our lovely new deck. These are examples of the dice that you get with your packs to keep track of your life total. You can get an app that'll do the same job. You can just tap it to adjust life totals, or you can keep track with a pen and paper. But these are nice little dice. All the numbers are connected next to each other in a chain from 20 down to 1, so it's easier to navigate than a random 20-sided dice. And that's all you should really need. There are a few optional extras, I guess. As I mentioned before, there are different kinds of deck boxes you can get, including metal ones with hinges. This one has a sliding compartment in the top that you can take out, and that can fit your dice and counters, that sort of thing. For counters, I like to use these lovely glass beads that people have in their bathrooms in ornaments for no reason. I found a use for them. I like to put them on creatures as +1/+1 counters. So I'm going to crack open these sleeves, sleeve up this deck. It's 2 packs of 40. So in the second pack, when you're left with 5 sleeves left over, you can leave them in that packaging. Keeps them together, saves them getting lost or getting damaged. So I'm going to get to work sleeving these up. This takes us all the way back, full circle, back to our first video. Magic Online is Very convenient, but there's something special about having the physical cards and playing against your foe on the table rather than on the computer. I think it's distinctly more satisfying. Although Magic Online is fun. So we've gone through everything. From the cards, different card types, to gameplay, different formats. I think everything that you would need to know as a beginner. Any other questions? Please feel free to ask. Might do a second series, a sort of intermediate series at some point. So now our deck is all sleeved up, ready to go into our lovely new box. Okay, we've got our divider in here to separate our main deck from our sideboard. So this is obviously not my first deck, but it would certainly be well loved and well cared for if it was. I'll be doing everything I possibly could to be protecting the cards. There we go, that's how your first deck would look. Nice and neat. You just need to find somewhere to put it with the rest of your decks eventually. So again, if any questions, any video suggestions, anything like that, get in touch, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, good luck in your games of Magic. Take it easy. I'll see you very soon.